Welcome back to Grassroots Media, and welcome to this year's edition of the Greeneville Federal Bank Eddie Spradlen Show, where we cover everything on the field with the Greeneville Greene Devils. As always, I'm your host, Tyler, joined here by Greene Devils head coach Eddie Spradlen. Coach, good to meet with you this afternoon.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Pleasure to sit down with you to talk about Greene Devil football. It's the first year we're going to be able to do this. I'm excited to talk about Greeneville athletics a little bit more this year. Started out great. Week 1, you had a 28-7 win over Tennessee High. Went on the road to get that job done. Give me your thoughts throughout that entire game. Run us through the emotions through all 4 quarters. It was a great first half, kind of a relaxed second half. Your defense played great. Corbin Cannon played great in his first start at quarterback. So just talk us through that whole entire win.
First off, I want to say thank you for all that y'all do for high school athletics in Greene County. It's top notch. That really puts it out there that you're giving the best coverage that we can get for this community for all that you do, and we appreciate that. But Friday night, exciting place to go up and play at the Stone Castle. There's a lot of football history up there. We come up there and we played probably as good as we could have in the first half, offense and defense. We played really good on special teams to start. We flew around and had some really good plays on defense. Super excited about that early in the year. It was kind of not real hot, but you worry about that kind of stuff in the start of the year, with cramps and dealing with the injuries and stuff. But overall, that was really top notch for us on Friday. So excited about that and what we did offensively. Corbin, came out there, not ever been a starter, first time starting as a senior. Excited about how he was. I think he started the first half like 5 or 6 with 3 touchdowns. We're going to try to establish the run game on offense with what we do with our offensive line, and I thought we did a really good job with that to start off. Tennessee High is a really good football team that tried to challenge us and get as many guys as they could in the box. We're still able to run the football, but what they were doing opened up our passing game, and we were able to hit 3 big plays in that first half for big touchdowns. So super excited about how we performed in that first half for sure.
Corbin had a great game, as we mentioned, 8 for 11, 205 yards and 3 touchdowns. Another player that had 3 touchdowns that carried you on offense was Carson Quillen. I think he had 2 on the ground and 1 through the air. He had a great game overall. He's going to be kind of that Swiss Army knife for you this year too, where he can run out and catch passes and also pound it through the middle.
Yeah, Friday night, he played, like you said, he played everything. He lined up at quarterback, he lined up at running back, receiver, plays at strong safety and free safety for us, and he also is a kick and punt returner. So we're trying to get the ball in his hands as much as we can because, like you saw on Friday night, special things happen when he gets the ball.
And you talked about establishing the run game, too, and it wasn't just one player that we mentioned like Quillen. You actually had a player rush for more than Quillen, and you had another player that actually, I think Corbin Cannon had a few rushes, too, for success. And then Emmanuel Dixon, he was 13 rushes for 57 yards. So you kind of spread it out a little bit, too. You didn't just hand it off to one guy, and you've been establishing that run game to where teams have to guess who you're going to hand it off to, and it's never just one specific guy.
Yeah, right now, like you said, Emmanuel Dixon had a big night at running back. He did a lot, the blocking wise and run the football, but, he's got to be a key part on defense as well as, Carson is. So I feel like right now with those two, as well as Zach Crispin and Maddox Bishop and Bryson Myers, those 5 guys can contribute, and we can win with each one of those guys in there. We'll be running back by committee a lot of times, but until somebody just takes off and having a big game, if somebody's having a big game, we'll let them tote the rock a little more. But all those guys got to contribute on the other side of the ball on defense in some capacity for us. So we try to not wear them out too much at running back.
And I know Carson Quillen, he had 111 yards through the air with 2 touchdowns. Samples also had a great game. He had 89 yards and a touchdown. He had that one other touchdown that we hadn't spoken about yet. He's going to be a threat for you on the outside also throughout the season. And talk about him a little bit and how dangerous he can be.
Yeah, he had a banged-up ankle going to that game. We only played him in the first half. After that first half, we said we're just going to hold him out the rest of the game. But, he caught 2 good he had a chance to have another touchdown. We talked to him about in film. He had a chance to stay on the edge right there. He could have probably walked in because, Carson did a great job blocking, as well as Zayden Anderson out there on the edge did a really good job blocking blocking on another pass play of his. But, he caught that one, and, he got inside of that receiver or the DB and, took it to the house, which, he's got really good speed, catches the ball well. He's an explosive player. We got to we didn't get it to Zayden. Zayden's had a really good fall camp and done a lot of stuff for us on offense. He didn't touch the ball much the other night, so he's another big play guy waiting to happen. So we got those guys out on the edge. Just some of those guys not got much experience, and early in the season they're going to keep on establishing themselves and be able to contribute as the season goes on.
One thing I talked about on Saturday morning too, I really didn't know a definite answer for it, but I had realized that this is my third year here. In my 3 years, I don't think you all have lost a regular season game yet. I think this is your 23rd straight regular season victory. Still moving strong, going into a tough game this week against DB2. We'll talk about that right after the break real quick, but got to get a few messages on the screen first, so we'll be right back after these messages here on Grassroots Media.
At Corner Pawn, the friendly and knowledgeable staff has the experience necessary to help you out regardless the need. Have an item of value you'd like to pawn or sell? Corner Pawn can help. They pawn numerous items of value, including firearms, tools, ammunition, silver, coins, and much more. When you walk through their doors, you'll find well-stocked shelves full of electronics, gaming systems, fishing and hunting equipment, car audio and accessories. And don't forget about the room full of guitars and basses and amplifiers, or their outside lawn and garden equipment. Corner Pawn is a case knife dealer and carries numerous used knives as well. Stop by and let the friendly staff at Corner Pawn help you today at 432 East Bernard Avenue, Greeneville, Tennessee. Tommy's Plumbing has provided professional plumbing services to the residents of Greeneville, Tennessee for over 30 years. Our experience and reputation have helped us grow our business to add locations in Jonesboro, Tennessee. Tommy's Plumbing is local and family owned, and we offer a full line of plumbing services, such as kitchen faucet, shower faucets, commodes, and bathroom faucets, as well as drain cleaning. We also provide outside plumbing work, such as septic and sewer drain cleanouts, as well as repair and replace. Tommy's Plumbing pretty much does it all. Tommy's Plumbing is licensed, bonded, and insured. Our quality workmanship and passion to provide our clients with expert service is second to none. We guarantee we have the best warranty around. For all your plumbing needs, give Tommy's a call at 638-3662.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Greeneville Federal Bank Eddie Spradlen Show, where we cover everything on the field with the Greene Devils. As always, I'm joined here with Greeneville head coach Eddie Spradlen. So you've got a tough matchup in week 2. Week 1, you went up there and took care of business in the Stone Castle. You're going on the road again in week 2 to play Dobyns-Bennett for the second year in a row in Kingsport. A very exciting game last year, probably one of the most exciting endings throughout the whole season in all of Northeast Tennessee. Probably going to be just as tough of a team as you played against last year. What do you expect going into that game on Friday night?
Exactly what you talked about. It's going to be an exciting environment. Anytime that we've played Dobyns-Bennett, it's been a 4-quarter game. It's been come down to the wire a couple times. I know in 2017 we opened up here against them. It came down to that fourth quarter, and last year comes down to the fourth quarter. And I don't expect anything less. It's going to be a battle between two really good football teams. Early on in the season, both of us trying to get a little better after this game, stay healthy, but excited about this game. You go up there, this is a big-time stadium. A lot of people, they're going to pack it in. Last year there was standing room only in a lot of places, especially on our side. They've got a fence around the field. People were standing everywhere around the fence. So it's their opening game at home, so it's going to be a big-time environment.
I know last year the final score was 21-20. It came down to a 2-point conversion at the end where I think Carson Quillen made the big play to stop them at the goal line. You could probably expect around the same score with as tough as both defenses are. So what do you expect to line up against whenever you put your offense on the field?
They're going to be big up front and defensively. Got the big linebackers. They're going to fly around and be physical on defense. They kind of the same mindset with their football team that we have with ours. We're going to be physical up front on both sides of the ball. They're going to try to establish their running game to open up their passing game just like we will. So it's two really good, well-matched football teams going against each other on a big-time stage on Friday night.
And then shifting over to your defense also, what do you think that you'll see from their offense? What sets will they come out and run, and are they going to be more of an air raid team, or are they going to pound the rock just like you all like to do?
I think they'll come out. They're kind of multiple in what they do. A lot of different formations, a lot of different motions. They're going to shift players all the time just to try to get your defense off of their normal rhythm and where they're aligned. So they do a really good job on what they do on offense. But they're going to come out. They return two of their big starters. They return from last year. One of them's the offensive line. Then they return two running backs that both played for them last year. So, I think they're going to try to establish that run game with their, like I said, they got a big offensive line that's very physical. So they'll try to establish that, and then hopefully that, and they'll try to open up that passing game. So we got to make sure we're playing our responsibilities. Flying to the football, being physical on defense.
Flashing back to last year's game a little bit also, what elements from last year's game do you kind of want to bring into this year's game to carry out the same success?
Obviously we got to start fast on offense. Last year we were going good. We gave them some momentum early on, and let them get into the game, and then we had a couple of goal line stands, which was big for us last year on defense. Just excitement. You got to come out and play hard, play physical. Kind of the same thing that we're going to try to do each weekend. Nothing really different than we normally do. Just I want the kids to be excited. It's a big time environment. Don't be nervous. Let's just get out there and play and see what happens.
Going back to last year's game a little bit also, was that one of the more nerve-wracking games or exciting games that you coached in, or kind of both?
We were up big. I can't remember if it was 14 or 21-0 at halftime. We were feeling good. Then they got it back into the game. I know we let them bust a big run. That same kid that's back this year, he had like a 60-yard run against us to get them on the board for the first time. And then they had another score, or another first time for that half. They got an early score after a turnover where Gillespie catches we had great coverage. He catches one in the corner of the end zone. It's a big time game last year, and they let them. I think it's a 21-14 game in the fourth quarter. We let them score really late on a long drive, and kind of like what we were talking about. They're going to have a little more depth than we could tell. We're a little tired. Little guys getting ran down a little, but. We kept on fighting, and when we needed to make a play there at the end, they had a big call to go for it, try to win the game. I think their coach told me they've not beat us, and it's been a good while since Dobyns-Bennett at Big Greeneville. We've not played for a long time. So I think before we played in 2017, last time we played maybe it was like 2002 or something.
Oh, wow.
So getting them back on the schedule has been big for both football programs and really for East Tennessee. You want to see really good teams playing each other on Friday nights. Like I said, it's going to make us better. So we're excited about what we're going to go against them on Friday night, but it's going to be a big-time game.
It's one of the bigger venues that you'll play at, too, because like you mentioned, it's a rather large venue.
Yeah, a couple years ago they expanded that stadium. And it's got an upper deck to it. It's always been a big high school stadium for sure, but they expanded that. It's it's up there. You get up there in that upper deck, you're up there pretty good.
On top of the press box too, you're kind of on top of everything. You can see throughout all of Kingsport almost. But this is kind of off topic too. I like to ask some of these questions. Do you kind of like playing in places like that where it's a bigger venue, or some that are more unique like Tennessee High where you're playing in the Stone Castle, something that has a lot of history?
They're both really special, to get to play in both schools. Dobyns-Bennett's got they got a sign up there how many wins they've had in their football history. So you go up there and you see that's pretty special. And, Tennessee High's had national championships with their football teams back in the 50s and 60s, I think. And like you said, it's got a lot of football history with them. But just both of those, I really enjoy just going to environments that are, high school friendly, excited. There's a lot of people packed in there. Really that's what makes the game special to us.
Luckily for you all, looking through your schedule, you're going to have a lot of those environments this year, whether it be here at home in Burley Stadium, going on the road against DB, going on the road against Alcoa, playing Elizabethton. I mean, you're going to have some raucous crowds that you're playing in throughout the year.
You add Morristown West in there as well. You know, that's big-time games for our non-conference games, as well as, like you mentioned, big-time. We're playing Elizabethton Week 11, which, you know, hopefully that's for the conference championship at the last game of the season. So you got to work up to be your best by that time for sure.
I have a feeling TSSAA did that on purpose, too. I'm not for sure. I don't work with them.
You start looking at a lot of different regions, and the Week 10 and Week 11 games are normally the history of the best two teams in that region are playing then. So makes for exciting ending of the season.
And I know there's another conference that we cover where the two teams that have played for it the last 5 years, that's who it is in Week 11. So you can kind of tell that TSSAA did that on purpose. But the last question that I like to ask at the end of every interview is, what are the 3 keys to success that you need to carry out in order to get a win on Friday night?
You know, we gotta, like I said, we gotta establish the run game up front with our offensive line, be able to run the football. We gotta slow their run game down. You're not going to, you know, really limit a team like that, but we can't let them rush for over 200 yards and, you know, think that we're going to win the football game. So we gotta be able to control that run game with them, and then we can't turn the football over. In a big time game against a really good football team, you gotta limit the turnovers and you gotta cause turnovers.
All right, well, best of luck on Friday night, playing a tough opponent in Dobyns-Bennett. How many years in a row has it been now? Is it 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20? 6 years in a row you've beaten DB now?
No, we didn't play for 2 years. We got back on the schedule. So this will be, I think this will be our 3rd year in a row playing them. So.
Okay. Very exciting game last year. Probably looking to see the same thing again this year. Hopefully it's a little less nerve-wracking for you this year, though.
But hopefully on our part. So.
Yes. Hopefully you can keep that big lead and then not have to worry about it coming down to the last drive again. But that's all we've got this week. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Greeneville Federal Bank Eddie Spradlen Show. We look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.
Go Devils.